What is up, guys? It's your boy. Seriously, can anyone upgrade this turret? Cacus, and today we have a fantastic hunter build that is targeted at Onslaught, the new wave survival game mode added to Destiny 2 within the Into the Light free DLC. This build is absolutely going to help you get those wave 50 legend difficulty completions, and so let's get started. Now, first off, not only is this build incredibly effective in Onslaught, but it's also very accessible. Even new and casual players are going to have access to some of the key elements of this build. And I mean, first off, the featured exotic armor piece that this build was really created around is actually going to be the Orpheus Rig exotic leg armor. These puppies have been in the game since vanilla Destiny 2, and what they're going to do is get your super energy back for your tether. Now, I've heard a lot of Orpheus Rig slander as of late, ever since the nerf that affected it and frankly every other exotic in the game that would give you super energy back, where the super energy regen caps out at 50%. So you're going to shoot your deadfall tether, 3,000 ads are going to spawn there. Like, seriously, the ad spawn locations, the ad density in Onslaught is insane, and you're going to get half of your super back, frankly, almost immediately, and then that regen is going to stop. But guys, 50% is all you need. Seriously, with that ad density, with some of the other elements of this build, how effective the weaponry we have is, you are going to be able to get your tether back after shooting it at the start of a wave. You will get it back probably before the end of that very same wave, and almost definitely by the next wave. Like, I literally had a tether for every single one of the 50 waves, and often I had multiple tethers, right, if I wanted it. It is incredible the amount of regen you get, and again, with the enemy density, with the spawns as close as they are, and you're seeing this in the background gameplay, one deadfall tether is enough to take care and really just spawn trap the multiple enemy spawns, and anything that's spawning into that is getting weakened, they're getting slowed, they're getting suppressed, right? They're easy kills, all right? Even some of the blueberries I get could take these guys down when they're tethered, okay? That's what I'm talking about. Now, as for the actual subclass, what we're going to be using here, we do want to use Deadfall, even though the Orpheus will actually give you a third shot of Mobius. We want that long-lasting tether to, again, just lock down where the enemy spawns are. Then after that, we do have Gambler's Dodge to get our melee back. Our melee Snare Bomb is going to be another way to weaken enemies if you need. And also we have Vortex Grenade. Now our aspects are going to be, first of all, Trapper's Ambush, mainly for that smoke bomb, granting invisibility now. This is going to be a huge part of our survivability. And also we have Vanishing Step. So again, tons of survivability, just being able to go invisible, but also, guys, anytime there's one of those annoying objectives across the map, or you have to defuse a mine, and there's a brig sitting there ready to absolutely end your run, you just go invisible, and you absolutely breeze through that objective, and hey, have you ever ran the spark and died? Not with this build, you'll never die again. Seriously, with the double ways to get invisible, you pick up the spark, you will get to the other side completely invisible, you will be fine. Now, as for the fragments, we have Echo of Vigilance for survivability, Echo of Reprisal just for more super energy, Echo of Starvation, we want Devour for even more survivability and regen and just amazing things, and the Echo of Expulsion, you basically for the plus 10 intellect. I don't know, you could switch this out. Now, after that, guys, let's talk about the weaponry. The key weapon, I'm just going to go to it right now. It's the Dragon's Breath. This was made for Onslaught, or Onslaught was made for this, because this is your level of wave 50 completion right here. This puppy, you land 1 times 5 Dragon's Breath into a crowd of enemies, you are killing every single enemy there. There's going to be about 300 quadrillion ignition explosions and damage numbers popping up on your screen, and all those enemies you're killing, are giving you a lot of super energy, contributing to your regen. It is just fantastic. The Dragon's Breath is literal god tier for Onslaught. So we're using it. We're capitalizing on that. Now, for the other weapon, we have the Zayuli's Bane. All right, there's going to be unstoppable champions, and they are going to be able to be stunned with hand cannons thanks to the seasonal artifact perk, and the Zayuli's Bane is a fantastic solar hand cannon. Now, this comes from a raid. You don't need this at all. Like, literally any solar hand cannon would do. It's obviously not going to be as good as the god tier raid one, but it will fit in this slot. Or, you know, if your other teammates are covering unstops, you can use an auto rifle to deal with the overloads or a sidearm to deal with the barrier champions. This is kind of like your primary flex slot. We're using solar for those seasonal artifact perks. Now in the main slot, I really have a few main options here. Honestly, the scatter signal has been incredible, okay? Overflow plus controlled burst. This was the darling of everyone's loadouts at the beginning of this season. The season's still going, baby. This thing is still good as you remember, and it is amazing in Onslaught because it will absolutely dump truck the yellow bars, and even it can do damage to bosses. Like, it's just very, very versatile, right? But if you don't want to use that, a blinding grenade launcher is going to be a fantastic choice and really help you stay on top of the ads. Frankly, one person should be running a blinding grenade launcher, but I think no more than one person, because you still need stuff like the scatter signal to take care of the ads, or a good sniper rifle, or even something like the Heritage, right? Like, your special can definitely be a flex slot depending on what you have available in your arsenal. Like, your most powerful special is good to go. However, we're not quite done with the weapons, and that's because I actually switch my weapons before every single boss fight. Guys, you get a guaranteed rally flag before you fight the boss. Why not capitalize on that? So I switch off of the Dragon's Breath to the Apex Predator. It's another solar rocket launcher, so I don't need to change any of the mods like built around having solar weapons. And of course, bait and switch plus reconstruction plus impact casing. This thing is going to hit like an absolute truck, and it is going to be better at bursting down bosses, what you're seeing in the background gameplay, than the Dragon's Breath. And then as soon as I'm done killing the boss, I just go and I switch back to the Dragon's Breath. And you may lose a round or two in the process of switching back to the Dragon's Breath, but I've just found this hyper efficient, right? Like, you have the ad clearing weapon for the ad clearing waves, and then you switch to the boss killing weapon for the boss killing wave. The only thing you need to keep in mind is one person needs to switch to Galahorn instead of just a legendary rocket launcher, right? Galahorn plus 2 top tier DPS rocket launchers, you'll be able to burst down pretty much every boss you face, even on wave 50. Like, you'll run out of rockets and the boss will be like a quarter of his health, and you can finish him off with your specials pretty easily at that point. Another big tip, guys, if you are going to switch and then rally, hey, make sure to switch to a chest piece with the reserve ammo of your boss killing heavy. So and then switch back after, but don't forget to do that. Now, moving on from there, guys, let's take a look at the armor mods. So, for the helmet, we have Heavy Ammo Scout, we have Solar Siphon, because of all our solar weapons, and Heavy Ammo Finder. So this combo here of Finder plus Scout, we want as many Dragon's Breath shots as possible, okay? And hopefully your teammates are also using the Dragon's Breath. So as long as everyone's Dragon's Breaths are absolutely topped up, we are good to go. Now, for the arms, I just have double solar loader because, I mean, Dragon's Breath, and I shoot it more often. And then for the chest piece, we're going to have the trifecta of resistances. Obviously, you can change this depending on what enemy types you are facing if you really want to be hardcore about it. After that, guys, for the legs, we do have Solar Scavenger, I think you know why, as well as Solar Weapon Surge, again, I think you know why, and I fit in a recuperation for that survivability. And after that, we do have the cloak here with time dilation as well as Reaper. Now, a couple of things I want to point out here. First of all, I have some intellect. And I know for PvE, for a PvE build, this is crazy. This is sacrilege, okay? But I'm telling you, when you want to get your super back all the time because your super is fantastic, having a little bit of intellect really isn't going to hurt you, especially because I've found that when you're doing Onslaught, you have a lot of downtime. Like every single time you're going and buying those upgrades and doing stuff like that, that's time where your super is regenerating passively. So having a little bit of intellect is really not the worst idea here. Even if you just have a few tiers, it's better than 0, which a lot of other builds are going to be running. Again, just because you're capitalizing on that downtime, it's just going to help you get that tether before the start of the next wave. And then once you can get that tether away, if you put it in a good spot, you're going to get it back 100%. And so guys, there you have it. Yes, it's the Orpheus rig, and some of you guys have not used this thing in years. However, in this particular game mode, a deadfall tether and a well-shot deadfall tether that's going to cover like the 2 different spawn points is going to be so outrageously effective. And you've been seeing it in the gameplay at locking so many enemies down that you just want it back as much as possible. So the Orpheus rig is going to help us do that. And hey, not just the ads, bosses too. You're going to want a weaken effect on the boss. If you're going to be shooting him with rockets, why not just snipe him with the Orpheus rig? You'll actually see in some of the background gameplay, because the Orpheus rig, I don't even intend to do this, but because the Orpheus rig is so effective, I will shoot my tether at the boss for the weaken. I'm not even trying to get this darn thing back, but I'll get my tether back basically accidentally before the boss fight is done. That's insane. And so guys, that's it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.